I remember when I had experienced a bad diagnosis over my physical body. I knew. I didn't understand all of the intricate details then, but I knew I had to get myself in a position. I went in the room. I got my Gloria Copeland tapes, my Oral Roberts tape, my Jerry Savelle tapes. I got everybody I knew and trusted that had ever preached anything on healing. And I locked myself up in the room. And I put those tape recorders back that would flip over while you were sleeping. It would just keep going. And I'd have the video there so I could see miracles that were going on in that place. And I had all my healing scriptures. And I'd say my healing scriptures about 15 times a day out loud. And then in between, I'd listen to a tape. And then I'd watch a meeting. And then I'd say those scriptures out loud again. And I'd listen to what somebody said, "What you doing?" I'm being intense about this. I'm applying intensity. I knew it would work, but without it being fired up, you know, it's like water. You got to turn the heat on before it boils, before it can accomplish anything. It can't cook until it boils. And boy, I'm turning the heat up and getting that thing to boiling. And I'm doing this every day, 24 hours a day. There was nothing else allowed to go through my eyes, my ears, and to come out of my mouth. I didn't go nowhere. I stayed right there. I didn't want to go around no preachers or nothing. Listen, I'm working on something. I'm going to die if I can't get this thing to happen. I'm working on something. I ain't got time for nothing else but what need to be going on the inside of this. And I never forget this thing. It was just over and over and over again in my sleep, everything just over and over again. And then I remember the first day when I closed my eyes and I saw the results. I said, "Oh, Jesus." I knew I was getting closer. This thing coming. And it got so real on the inside of me. It got so overwhelmed. I can hardly describe it. The only thing that I remember this particular day is when it got so real as I began to worship and praise God. I grabbed my shirt and came down and ripped my shirt. And I'm like, "Who, dude, what in the world?" I knew. It was no longer I think, I hope. I knew it. I knew it. Called the office and said, "I'd like to move my appointment up." Why? Because I know what I know. And I walked in there and I said, "Doc, you remember what you saw the last time?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Check it again." He said, "Why?" I said, "I know something, and I want to hear you say it." He was an older guy, and he came in, he checked it. He came in, he said, I said, "No, don't stutter. Tell me. Tell me." He said, to tell you what?" I said, "Tell me you don't see nothing. Tell me I am healed." He said, "Well, I don't understand how it happened or anything." I said, I do. I wasn't waiting for you to tell me that I'm healed. I already knew it. I wanted to hear you say it. Say it. Listen, that was my in the morning experience. But what I had to realize is that I had to get this word in me as active as the principle that God released, so that when I mixed that word in me and it came out of my mouth, it came out boiling, it connected with God's principle that was already hot, and it caused a reaction to take place. You see how faithfulness will go there? Can you be faithful enough to do that instead of walking around mixing your cold faith with God's hot principle? "By stripes I'm healed." Well, it's coming to pass. It's just you died before the reaction took place. It wasn't that the word didn't work. See, Jesus believed everything he said. So it wasn't nothing for him to go around and say, "Well, no man will eat fruit of you hereafter." They knew immediately, well, that's quick reaction. Let's do it. He ain't spending time talking stuff he doesn't believe. And ladies and gentlemen, this requires some practice on our part. We got to get people to help us. My wife and I, we do that all the time. She said, "You believe that?" I said, "Believe what?" She said, "You believe what you just said." No. But see, we're working on something. We're working on something. Baby, you believe what you just said? Kinda. Kinda ain't good enough. You don't believe it, do you? And as you begin to work on that, and you begin to train your spirit, and it begins to understand, to bring to pass everything you say without having to pause to make sure and wait till it gets hot. Now I'm going to keep it hot. I'm going to keep it boiling. I'm going to make sure that my faith substance in me is going to be just as active as that principle that comes out. And when it combines, I'm going to have a quick reaction. That's why we go to church.